Hello everyone, I am CA Surbi Punshi, Indirect Tax Expert at ClearTax. First of all, I would like to thank each and everyone for attending today's session of Master of Tax, which is an exclusive live webinar series brought to you by ClearTax, in which we are going to discuss about cloud-based practices in chartered accountancy and adoption of technology by the CA community amidst this COVID-19 crisis. So in this second episode of the series, we are going to talk about digitization of chartered accountancy with automation and adoption of cloud-based practices. So to discuss this, we have CA Manmeet Singh Mehta ji. So before we even begin our webinar, I would like to welcome our founder and CEO Archit ji to speak few lines.
But welcome, sir. We are very excited to have you, and and it will be a fascinating session, on technology and digitization for CA firms. And sir, you have had a very illustrious career, and we are very happy to hear from you, learn from you today. Just to give background of Manmeet sir, his body of work spans more than 30 years and comprises a rich experience in management consulting, professional audit, tax practices, conducting statutory and operational audit of corporates, banks, societies, firms. He's also a faculty member of ICAI in the Department of Information System Audit. He's been conducting professional training programs on information systems audit, control, assurance practices for chartered accountants and system professionals for all over India. He has trained officers of Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) in Delhi, Mumbai, on banking fraud detection. And as digitization has taken over every thinkable space, it will be very exciting to hear the effects on the revolution that has had on the chartered accountancy and the firms. And what does the transition to cloud-based practices mean to CA firms and CA professionals across the nation? Thank you for joining us, sir. And let's start. Before we start, I have one question for you and one story which we were discussing before the show. One of your friends whose house is a little away from his office, and his office is in a containment zone. And what was this? I'm sure the listeners would love to hear that story.
So, okay, Archit, I'm thankful to you and your company for giving me opportunity for interacting, and a very good afternoon to everybody. Friends, because I'm not primarily into the kind of tax practice, but I had a friend, who is into tax practice. So the other day, his office is in kind of containment area, so he can't reach his office. So the kind of software he had was the kind of tax compliance you have on your PCs. So he was talking to the company that I am at home, my office is in containment area, my servers are there, and how can I access it, because now tedious time is there and the other compliances have to be made. So he discussed at length with the company, but they said we can do only one thing. Either we can, surrender your license at your office and bring it home. I would say we can't operate at both the places. It has to be just one place, right? So that led me to thinking that we are in such a quandary today due to COVID. Had it been a cloud-based thing, then this kind of problem would not have arrived. So friends, cloud-based compliance is today not an option, it is a compulsion. If you need to survive, then one thing is sure, that we have to adopt the cloud-based practices. So Archit, I would say that is my take on that, because I'll say that, your line is good in a way that you are providing these kind of services which are cloud-based, and even in these trying times, I'll say it could help us CA firm, grow and develop, right? And do whatever it needs in terms of providing value to its clients.
Absolutely, sir. And before, I'll let you continue, sir. But just as a concluding remark, I will just say, we are trying to make our technology available on our platform, so Android and the PC and anywhere you go, and you can work anytime, anywhere. So that's the goal, because that's the future, and so we are very excited about the future in that dimension. So with that said, sir, please take it forward. We are very excited to hear you. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Archit. So friends, COVID is going to stay in near foreseeable future. That is for sure. So one thing we need to do is we need to stop, thinking about COVID, and we need to stop thinking about the way things have happened, and we need to make the present work and future work. That is for sure. Now, I'm pretty sure as you step in this post-COVID period, or I'll say post-lockdown period, okay, we'll need to innovate, and we'll need to find some kind of a balance between the way we work and the way the future would be there. So that is for sure. Okay. So one thing which we need is that we need to realize that remote working will be a norm, not an exception. Okay. So there seems to be somebody saying some issue with that. So please check it your end, how it's happening. Okay. So remote working would be there for the near future and forever perhaps. So we'll have to adopt to remote working. And if you look at the recent report by Gartner, with the slide, okay. So if you look at the recent report by Gartner, it says 74% of companies plan to permanently shift to more of remote work. So remote working is going to stay, friends. It's not going to go. And if you on Thursday, in the previous Thursday, if you had looked at the news where Facebook had, decided that it will move most of its employees to, remote work. Okay. Google and the Facebook, two prominent companies on earth, IT companies on earth, have already moved most of their employees to remote work. So remote work, friends, is going to stay. Remote work is not going to go. Now, I'll use a term remote work rather than a common term which is called work from home. Okay. Now, point is, why do we need to work from home? We should enable our offices to work from anywhere. Location, friends, is immaterial today, because as Archit said, it should be on the go. It should be on the go. We should be able to do the things, okay, on the go. We should be able to access data on the go. So cloud-based facilities gives us this option where we can connect to our team, we can connect to our employees on remote means, okay. Now, a big question is not where we work. A big question is how we'll work. And to enable this, how we should be able to work from anywhere, there are three things which become very important. One is accessibility of data, which is anywhere. Second is accessibility of resources and applications which are anywhere we can access. And the third is how to monitor the performances of our team. So these three are important factors when we talk about remote work or work from anywhere. So the way we plan our offices, the way we plan our future, we have to think about these three things: how we enable these for a CA's office, how we adopt technology in a CA's office. So friends, that is our theme for the day, how technology can help us. Okay, I'll start with a small disclaimer. The entire views I have are my own, and they do not in any way represent views of ClearTex. Okay, I'll be using some logos of some companies, some software, some applications. Now, they are purely for educational purposes, and those logos belong to the respective organizations. Okay, so here I'm doing it just for the sake of spreading knowledge about that. Okay, now the agenda for the day is the COVID challenge. We already talked about that. Now, how to enable work from anywhere? The four enablers or the four pillars which could help you to work from anywhere. Okay. Then we'll be talking about how we can digitize our offices, okay, how we can digitize a CA's office. We'll also be talking about moving from digitization to automation, because there's a difference between these two. And we'll be talking about cloud-based practice. So that is our theme for the day. That is our agenda for the day for around 40 odd minutes we have. Okay. as I said, we have to change. We have to forget the past. I can tell you one thing. In near future, those good old days will be kind of a nostalgia for us. Okay. So we have to adapt to this new normal. As Socrates said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but building the new. So let's think about how we can adopt the new, how we can innovate. And let me tell you, we chartered accountants and we humans as a race are very adaptive, very resilient. See, it's been millions of years we've been continuing. And I don't know how many COVIDs, how many of these disasters have come, and we have survived each one of them. And I'm pretty sure we'll, survive, I might say this one also. But every disaster, every adversity brings an evolution also. So we'll have to evolve at the same time. We'll have to innovate at the same time. We can't continue doing the old things the same way each time. So whenever there is a change, we have to innovate also. We have to evolve also. So disruptions will keep on coming. That doesn't mean we got to stop. We need to evolve and adopt whatever is new. Okay. Now, friends, there was, I mean, say this one going around quite a lot during the recent days. That what has led the digital transformation of your company? It was not the CEO of the company. It was not the CTO of the company. It was the COVID. And let me tell you, in last 1 or 1.5 months, the kind of digital transformation that has come is more than you've had in years. Okay. Who could have thought of that we could be interacting virtually across the globe? Okay. As Archit said, I'm a faculty to Institute of Chartered Accountants. Used to take a lot of sessions, and all those sessions have gone today on virtual media, and we got virtual attendances. So what is there is COVID could have brought in physical distancing, social distancing, but let me tell you, technology has helped bridge that distance. Okay, virtually we are quite close. I mean, see, I couldn't have imagined earlier that in our sessions we could have people coming from all across the globe, from maybe New Zealand and Dubai and all those places. But yes, we are having people who are coming from all across the globe. We couldn't have thought of it earlier. Okay, that is the kind of change it has brought in, the kind of digital transformation. I mean, say you yourself think, had you thought of moving to cloud or some such things? On a daily basis, I get 2 or 3 calls from one or the other chartered accountants. Sir, how to adopt to cloud and these kind of things? Today, we can't access our offices, so we need to do something about that. So friends, COVID has been a disruptor, but COVID has also brought in digital transformation. Okay. Now, in these times when we need to evolve, we need to start thinking about one thing, which is for sure, how we can add value to our client. Now, with the value to our client now has to be given in the form of, digital way. Okay. Let me see, because this HD camera is on auto mode, so I don't know why it keeps focusing. Okay. It's okay. So, friends, this is the time we need to start thinking about how we can add value to the client. See, there was a time when, we were more compliance-based. We were more, assurance-based. But now our clients are also into trying times. So you'll have your clients who will be asking you, what do I do in this scenario? How do I evolve? How do I manage my cash flows? How do I manage my working capital? How do I manage compliances? Because compliances are no longer going to be, physical kind of compliances where you'll be going to some kind of tax offices. You'll have to adopt most of these things from anywhere, I'll say, not your home, anywhere. Okay. So we'll have to adopt to, these technologies. Now, this adoption of technology and all things is not a one-day's job. It takes time. It takes time. So you'll have to build a vision for that. You'll have to build a vision that, yes, I want to give good service to my client. I want to provide value addition to my client. And you build your whole office, your processes around that. And as you know, Leonardo da Vinci said, as a well spent day brings happy sleep, so life well spent brings happy death. Okay. See, today, day in and day out, we are facing, mortality. So the way we build our offices, I think, so we can have, we can start thinking about the values we want to have, how we can give value to our client, what is the vision for our practice. And if we implement that vision, then yes, we can grow. We can grow. At least we'll be, I would say, satisfied in the end that yes, we have done whatever we have dreamt of. Okay. Now, as I was saying, for this remote work or work from anywhere, we need 4 enablers. These 4 enablers are very essential if you want to build a remote enabled office or a work from anywhere kind of culture in your offices, which would be mandatory today, right? Which would be a compulsion today. One is available of PCs or laptops or hardware to all your team. Second would be data somewhere in the cloud, because what you need to do is you need to have data which is accessible to your whole team. And there is only just one option, which has to be in some kind of a cloud, so that data could be accessed from anywhere. Okay. So there's something about video. So you can't help it. It's on auto mode, right? It is also automated, right? So let's see. I mean, say the slides are visible, right? So second is, the accessibility to the data. Now the third is connectivity, which you need. You need good internet connectivity, good Wi-Fi connectivity, which could be connected from anywhere. Okay. So a lot of us have moved, to Jio and all these kind of things. And Jio had a turning point in the sense, Jio brought internet within everybody's reach. But for this kind of a thing, for managing your offices, you'll be needing some kind of broadband. So you'll be needing some kind of Wi-Fi there. Okay. Then fourth and the most important thing is you need to have cloud-enabled applications. You can't do without traditional applications. Right now, we are more used to applications which are, which are there in our PCs. Our tax compliances are in applications which are in our PCs. Okay. Our accounting is somewhere in our PCs. Okay. Our Word, Excel, all these are in our PCs. So we've got to think more about, cloud-based applications. Okay. So these are the kind of things which would be required. So these I consider to be the 4 pillars or 4 enablers, okay, which could help us, work from anywhere, or which will enable, remote work. Okay. Now, friends, for enabling all this or going to a digitized CA's office, primarily we need 3 things. One is technology or the tools. Recently, I talked about tools in the previous slide. Second is you also need the skills. But the most important amongst all is a mindset. Okay, is a vision. Okay, you need a vision to be able to convert your office into some kind of technology based office. So we generally call them tool set, skill set, and mindset. Tool set is all the applications you have. Skill set is the skills you have for using the technology. Mindset is that whole vision you have of converting your whole thing into some kind of a digitized office. Okay. Now, tools can be bought, skills can be hired. Most important thing, at your level is the mindset. And technology is not anybody's job. It is your job. If you are a head of an organization, it is your job. So, whenever you're talking of technology, implementing technology, you have to get your hands dirty. You have to be in the thinking process. Without that, you cannot do it. Okay. So, I often say that technology, implementation of technology is 5 to 10% tools and all those things. But the biggest is the implementation. Biggest is the mindset. Biggest is the re-engineering of processes which you need, to bring technology into your offices to make it workable. Okay, and it's not a day's job. It takes time. You can install a software perhaps within 5 minutes or 10 minutes now, or maybe 1 hour at the most. But implementing that software, bringing your work process in consonance with that, is not a one-day's job. It is a day's job, and maybe months, and maybe it could take a whole year. But be willing to invest in that. Okay, you have to invest time in that. Okay. So what I always say is you'll have to reset your mindset. Reset your mindset means we'll have to adapt to the future. If we want our present conditions to be there in the future also, if you think like the way I do today, tomorrow I want the same to be done in the systems also, in the in computers also, that is not possible. Everything has its limitation. Manual processes have their limitations, systems have their limitations. We'll have to bypass those limitations and use it to our benefit. So the biggest thing you'll need, friends, is some kind of mindset change. So that is important. So you'll have to have an open mind to be able to accept any kind of a change and be with the change. Let me tell you, I've seen a lot of technology implementations. And in most of the organizations, the biggest problem had been change management. People are not willing to change their mindset. So that mindset has to change. Once you change your mindset, then anything is possible. Anything and everything is possible. You can grow like anything. Okay, but the biggest change required is, some kind of change in mindset which would be required. Now, friends, as I said, what you need is primarily 3 things to enable it. Okay, kind of a remote work. One is accessibility of your data. Second is how can you communicate with your teams. And the third is how can you measure their work, measure their performances and productivity, right? So today we got a plethora of tools which could help you out. Okay. Now to connect to your team, we got these some wonderful tools which are available today. A Zoom, okay, which is there. Then there is GoToMeeting, which is there, and Microsoft Team is becoming popular like anything. Then we got Skype. Skype we've been using traditionally since a long time. Okay, but what I'll say is if you had seen, the Zoom has simply skyrocketed. Unimaginable, every day there used to be a news which says Zoom has bypassed, everything, right? So Zoom is comparatively frictionless. It's comparatively frictionless. It had some security issues, but what Zoom people say they've now outgrown those security issues. Microsoft Teams is again a great tool to work, and because Microsoft Teams you also get with the whole Microsoft suite, okay, Microsoft 365. So it's a great tool again to work with your teams, okay. And GoToMeeting is another one, okay, which is there. So GoToMeeting again is there. It is by another company. But as I said, if I talk about the ease of use, probably the number one is still you. That is why it had so many adopters, which have adopted to it. There have been some issues, okay, but probably the company, if it has grown at such a pace, should be able to cope with that. I think so. But again, Teams is growing in popularity quite a lot. If you have something like Microsoft 365, so Team is a part of that, and many of these tools will be getting automatically. Okay. So the next is for asynchronous communication. Asynchronous communication means where you don't need in real time. Okay. Zoom and all are for synchronous communication where everything is happening in real time. You can see me, I might see you. In this case, no, but otherwise in Zoom meetings, yes, I can see you also. Everything is happening in real time. But there could be situations where you want to communicate with your team, okay, where you want to, be with your team, but the team could not be in real time, okay. So what you could do is you could use some kind of a system like Slack or Chanty, or now Teams also has got a built-in, I would say chat system where you could send a message. The other person might not respond immediately in real time. It could be some time after that. Say all these tools work just like your WhatsApp. But they are kind of professional tools where you can build groups, where you can build projects, and you could have team members and they could interact amongst each other. So those are the facility you have, with these kind of tools. Okay. Now then again, for remote access, you will be needing some kind of a tool with which, if your team is not on location, it's on a different location, you should be able to access their devices. You should be able to access their PCs if they're facing any kind of a trouble. Now, AnyDesk and TeamViewer or Emmy, these are good tools for that. AnyDesk, we've gotten too much used to. Okay, TeamViewer is free for personal use, for enterprise use, yes, it is paid. But again, with that, if your employee or your team member is facing some kind of a problem relating to technology on his PC, you could at least access his PC through some kind of remote means, and you could help him solve the problem. Okay, so these two are again, good tools which you could use and could help in building your, kind of, digital practice, right? Now, as I said, you need some means to communicate, you need some access to data. And third is you need to somehow measure the productivity of your team. Okay. Now, the productivity of team again could be through some kind of task management tools. Let me tell you, this is a very, very important step when you are, moving your office to some kind of digitization. Because now what you need is you need to break your processes into small processes which can be, like many of us had, studied about PERT charts, okay, where you break a process into smaller ones and you are able to see the progress, okay, to time the assignments. So we got some tools like Codial is there, okay, Clockify is there to time your assignments, okay, Trello is there, where you could build some kind of project management. Okay, Simplify Practice is there, okay, with which you could break your, okay. So where what we'll do is we'll break the whole thing into smaller processes, which we can use for some kind of project management, and we could time those things also. I can tell you one thing, friends. I've been with this process. It will give you a lot of clarity about the way you do it. See right now, what are we used to? We are used to an employee sitting there. We can just physically see him and he is working and we are satisfied that yes, he is working. Productivity measurement is very less in this case. Our productivity measurement is more in terms of time he has spent, Okay, but when you break it down into processes, then I am pretty sure you'll be doing some kind of an ABC process. In ABC, you realize there are processes which we are doing, which are not very relevant. Okay, so that will give you insight into your processes, and I can surely tell you, you can bring in more efficiencies into your work processes. So there are plenty of tools. You can adopt the tool, whichever suits you. Okay, I can tell you one thing, there is no perfect tool. There is no perfect situation. There is no perfect tool. So you'll have to adapt one of those tools according to your situations, right? So that is important. Now, one tool where you could go to is G Suite. Okay. Now, G Suite is now a whole set of tools which could become available to you. Now, G Suite's benefit is it gives you the cloud also in terms of G Drive. It gives you security, which is really good. And it gives you a lot of cloud-based applications like Google Sheets, like, docs and slides and all those kind of things. So as a part of the whole thing, you get a whole, kind of a suite within that. And right now, it's not very expensive also. So right now, most of these companies are coming with the processes where, these companies are saying that during COVID period, we are giving it for some kind of a lesser amount. So like G Suite right now for a single use could be available for just rupees 125 per month or something. Okay. So that could be there, right? So G Suite is again good for, you got a whole suite of products within that. Okay. Now, then there is Microsoft 365. We've all been gotten used to Microsoft products with, I don't know why it's happening. So technology, friends, has its own pitfalls. Automation has its benefits, but a lot of time when it is automatic, you can't control it. So it's a automated HD webcam, and I don't know why it is unfocusing and focusing again. So sometimes technology is beyond your control. So as I said, everything has got both the sides. Technology is an enabler, but sometimes, yes, it goes out of control. So that is what we also need. What we need is some kind of a means, where technology is our slave, not our master, right? So that also is needed. Okay, so I was on Microsoft 365. Now the earlier name was Office 365. Since 22nd, it has changed to Microsoft 365. Now Microsoft 365 is a great suite of tools which we are used to. We are used to Word, we are used to Excel, we are used to PowerPoint. And now within this, it will have, you also get Teams within that. And let me tell you, the cost is not very much. It is, rather, I won't put the term cost, I'll put the term investment, right? Because it's an investment in your future. If you want to digitize your CA's office, it's not a cost, okay? It's an investment which you are doing, okay? So all these, is not very expensive today. I think so Microsoft 365, the whole suite is available for something like 660 rupees per month or something. It's not a huge price to pay, okay? And you get all the benefits of whatever is latest, which is there. And on top of that, you also get Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams has got a built-in chat. It has got a built-in way to, communicate with your teams in real time. So all those benefits are there, okay? Now, one thing more which is required is, right now we are used to files in our offices. Okay, and if I really want to ask you, do you really know where your data is? How much time do we spend in trying to find the kind of data which is there? You would have TVs on TVs full of hard disks, but getting the data in real time or getting it in short time is always a challenge. Okay. So now we got all these kind of e-documentation management systems. We got Atlassian's, and we got Folder.it, and EasenVault is again a good one. Okay. So these are kind of e-documentation systems you have, which you can use, okay, for managing your e-documents. Now, some of you are asking about cloud. Okay. Now, friends, cloud would be the future. Cloud would be the future. Just yesterday, I got a call from one of the chartered accountants who was, in one of the sessions earlier. And what he was saying was, I was just trying to transfer some data from my PC to some kind of external drive, and the electricity got disconnected and everything went away. So how can I recover it? So this kind of thing would be very rare, if you really talk about if your data is in the cloud. Number one, it would be accessible anywhere. So it's no longer a question of being in your office or being in your home. You could be anywhere and still, you could access the cloud. But everything has got an upside and a downside. Okay. I generally say, perfect solutions and perfect spouse, they don't exist. Right? So everywhere, there has to be some kind of a compromise which has to be there. With technology also, there would always be a compromise. Okay. So as far as, there were some questions about security and all these kind of things. Let me ask you a simple question. In your PCs, can I ask you how much security do you really have? I found, I've gone to organizations where I found, they don't even have, kind of access passwords in their PCs. Or if at all a password is there, would be pasted somewhere on the, on the desktop. So somehow, when we are into the physical world, we are a bit confident. And when we talk of cloud or the virtual world, our confidence is, a bit lesser one. Then we are talking about security. And honestly telling you, when this whole scare about Zoom started, that Zoom security is bad, and I was doing a lot of sessions on Zoom. So a lot of people, I would say, I got calls, sir, is Zoom secure? I said, do you know how many apps you have on your mobile? Have you ever checked the security for that? TikTok is, well known. I don't know how many apps. When you install an app, do you ever look at what are the things it is asking? That time we are just happy with getting the app. We just click, I agree, I agree, I agree, I agree, I agree, and done. Do you really know you have given access to what are areas of your mobile? Similarly, when we install a software in our PCs, how much have you really bothered about checking what are the areas it is accessing? But somehow, we now live in some kind of a WhatsApp and a virtual world, okay, where security becomes a scare. I'm not saying security is not important, but if we go to the crazy extent of security, our functionality will suffer. Security and functionality both are go in the opposite direction. So right in the start, I talked about a balance. We need to have some kind of balance. Okay, there is no perfect secure thing, but just think of it. Google is being used by a lot of corporations, and Google has got a pretty good security. You can't access a Google Drive without a password, whereas you can access your PC, I would say, without any kind of access controls. So which is a security which is better? Okay, security, yes, is required, and these are well tested across the world. They've got reasonably good security. So you can use a OneDrive, which is good. Again, Google Drive is well known. Okay, Dropbox is another old favorite, which is there. Okay, and just try to think, many of the top companies are using these clouds. Okay, so should be good. Should be good. They must have assessed it. And for the cloud, if you really want to get security, I think so. There's a site which is called Meghdoot. You could just go to the site where they have audited the clouds, and they've done a kind of a third party audit of all these clouds, and the reports are there. It's a government of India site. Meghdoot something. Just put in the search in Google, you'll be getting it. There you could check the reports of all these kind of clouds which is there. So if you are much concerned about security, makes sense to go there. Okay. Okay, so security, yes, as I was saying, is important, but we need to have security not only at the level of cloud, our own systems also. We need to have access passwords to our systems. We need some kind of good security in our Wi-Fi's. I find a lot of people in their SSIDs, they don't have security. You could access a router. Okay, so the password is very weak, so anybody can hack into a Wi-Fi router, and Wi-Fi router is your primary door to your whole organization. It's a front door to your organization, and the kind of passwords find are like 1 2 3 or something. The vendor ISP has come and put in a password. Okay, admin. Lot of times you'll find admin. Anybody can access admin, and he could change the settings. So point is, we need security not at one place. We need security at all the places, not only in the cloud. We need to become attuned to the security practice. This is an important thing. Okay. Now, not only Wi-Fi routers in our systems, we need to have some kind of good antivirus. We need to have some kind of anti-spywares. Okay. So you could have something like a total security. Ransomware today has become a big issue. So your whatever security you have, whatever kind of I would say firewalls you are using or antivirus product you are using should be total security. I mean, say they should take care of ransomware also, because ransomware has become a big issue, and a lot of CAs have lost a lot of data through some kind of a ransomware. Okay, and but as I said, security, again, there needs to be balance. Now, the problem is, I think so, each one of us would be today having at least 100 passwords to remember. Okay, for each and every site you need a password, for each and every app you need a password. Okay, be it LinkedIn or your Facebook or I would say everywhere you need a password. All the email IDs you need a password. On the online banks you need a password. I mean, see, each one of us would be requiring something like maybe 50 to 100 passwords. Okay, and what we generally do is, we just put it in some kind of a paper book, or we put a diary or something, and some people do it in, some kind of Excel sheets. Okay, no, but at the same time, we also need, some kind of functionality also. It's not easy to remember all these kind of passwords. Okay. So, there are many products like password managers. Okay, we got LastPass, which is very good. LastPass works like a kind of an SSO, you could say. You just access LastPass. LastPass maintains all the passwords. Okay, and many of these products are free for individual use. So then don't cost much. Okay, so LastPass is a good one. Then Bitwarden is a good one, and Dashlane is again another good one. Okay. Now, a couple of things more, when you're talking of digitizing your practice and really you want to grow and you want to shine in your practices, there are 2-3 softwares which I'll surely recommend for you. One is Grammarly. Now, Grammarly is a wonderful software which checks your grammar. See, you need to present to the client, and your presentation means a lot. If you present it to a client or you sent a mail which contains some kind of grammar errors or grammatical errors or spelling errors, doesn't give a good impression. So you could use a tool like Grammarly. Grammarly installs on your MS Word, it installs even on your browser. With the result, whenever you're writing mails, it checks your grammar. And sometimes in my case, whenever I use WhatsApp on the web, it checks even in WhatsApp, and WhatsApp, I tell you, is very poor as far as spellings and all these things are concerned. But it helps me be grammatically correct and spelling correct also. So it gives a good impression. So impression for a chartered accountant is also important for anybody. I mean, it's not only for CAs, anybody, any organization. The impression has to be good. Okay, so Grammarly is one such tool which I'll surely recommend, and some part of it is free. Use the free one if you're not willing to invest. Otherwise, investment is not huge. But in any case, it could help you a lot, in writing the letters, appeals, notices to compliance authorities in at least a proper grammatical manner. Then another one is Free File Sync. It's a free utility. Okay, Free File Sync helps you synchronize your documents on the PC with some kind of an external device. So a lot of time what we do is we have some kind of a folder, we copy the whole folder. Next time we need some kind of lesser time. So you could use something like Free File Sync. And if you are a bit into data analysis and you are a good Excel user, ECAT is one software which helps you make your processes very fast. So a couple of tools which I use, and I'll surely recommend these tools. Okay. Then friends, we are more concerned with digitization. But friends, there is a difference between digitization and automation. We need to start moving from digitization to automation. Digitization is more like you take a paper, convert it into some kind of a PDF. Okay, so what we say is we have digitized our office, means all our paper files are now into PDFs and all that. But automation is beyond that. So when we talk of automation, means we are more in terms of something like ML and RP and all those kind of things. See, I can tell you, we all do a lot of mundane jobs which doesn't need our attention and our time. This can easily be done by a machine. Let the machine do those things easily. Okay. Why do you have to enter all the entries? Okay, we take a paper and make all the entries. If we got a nice OCR reader, or if we've got a nice, some kind of a document management system, which can immediately capture all the data from our documents, your time is saved. So I'm talking of that automation. I'm talking of where we can move from digitization to automation. And the kind of tools we'll be talking of will help you, automate your offices also. Okay. Now, it's not a question of how many ideas you have. It is how you make it happen. So implementation, I tell you, is the most important part. You can easily buy so many of these tools, not an issue. But the big issue is, are you willing to implement it? Because implementation is a time-consuming process, number one, and we have to somehow adapt to that culture also. So a lot of times, we are thinking about the past. We are thinking about कि पहले ऐसा होता था, मेरे को अभी भी ऐसे करना है, नहीं होगा. So we got to think about how we can make it happen. So technology is not only getting the things, it is how you can make it happen, how you can implement those things. Okay. Now, amongst the various accounting applications which are there, we've got many which the recent cloud applications which are to a lot extent automated, have got a lot of AI built into them. We got an application like File. What File does is, you take a document, you scan it, it captures the data, takes it to some kind of an accounting application. Similarly, we got, I would say, apna Find My Invoice. So Find My Invoice looks at all the invoices you have in your emails, captures the data from that, and would send to some kind of an accounting application. Then for banks, we got this application called Perfios, which downloads all your bank statements, does some kind of analysis on that, gives you some kind of portfolio. So that is there. And amongst cloud accounting applications, we've got this Intuit's QuickBooks. Now QuickBooks is a US based application. Now it's come to India. Okay, it's pretty good. Okay, and then we got this Hostbooks, which is a homegrown application which has got cloud solutions, which is automated. Okay, could capture the data from your bank statements and a lot of these places. Now, one difference is there. See, the cloud applications evolve with an infrastructure of a cloud. So they start ground up from the cloud. Whereas other applications, you adapt to the cloud, they might not have the same kind of efficiency which a cloud application has. So most of these applications start from the cloud. Okay. Now, if I talk of compliance, okay, one of the prominent ones is ClearText. Okay, ClearText has got I'll say one of the biggest ones today as far as I would say GST compliances are concerned and other tax compliances are concerned. And as I said, all these are cloud based because they've grown with the cloud. There's a difference between adapting to the cloud and growing with the cloud. The architecture is different. So there could be an application which is totally DOS based and somehow you take it to the cloud. But there's another application whose architecture is attuned to the cloud. Okay, so what would happen is, with these kind of applications, your work is much easy. So data is somewhere in the clouds. You could easily access the data. A lot of automation has come in. Okay, so ClearText is there. Even TextMin has got one solution which is there, and OptoText is there. OptoText is again an application which is handling GST and all these affairs. Okay. So what basically these applications do is they've got inbuilt reconciliation and all these kind of things with the various reports which are there, and all of these are cloud based in the sense you can take the data anywhere. So all these are anywhere applications, and as I said, since these have started with the cloud, so the efficiency is high. If you adapt to a cloud, you won't have the same kind of efficiency. There will be some kind of friction which would be there. But since these have grown with the cloud, so efficiency is much, much better. Okay. And now, as far as the ClearText is concerned, their motto is stay home, stay GST compliant. So I'll say you couldn't stay anywhere and still be I would say GST compliant, not only home, you could be anywhere, right? So it could be work from anywhere, I'll say, with ClearText, okay? Because these are not bound to a place. These are not bound to a PC. You can access it anywhere. You can simply log in and start working on that, okay? So there is convenience in the sense this is, totally cloud-based. Collaboration is easy. You could give access rights to the various participants of your team, and they can access the same system, right? And with the client also, the communication is easier. So that's a bit about about GST, and I'll hand it over to now Surbhi. Let me see. Okay, so friends.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this valuable session, and it's really very useful for all of us.
That was off to Surbhi, right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this valuable session, and it's really very useful in knowing so many tools in the market, which can actually help all of us in understanding and using that tool. And especially during this COVID-19 period, when there's a lockdown, we are stuck at our home, and we need some ways so that we can use it effectively and we can actually manage our time too. So you have actually discussed about so many text manager tools. There's something like password saving things. There are Google Suite, and which actually helps our life and make our life little automated, reduce our manual work. So with this, I will actually take some of the queries which has been asked by our users. One of the query is from one of the participants who is asking, please suggest some good e-documentation tools or software.
Okay. So for e-documentation, I've given you name of, see this Atlassian has got a good e-document management system, right? See, the important thing is what suits us. Okay, it all depends on the kind of data you have. You could have an organization which has got very limited data. There could be an organization which has got huge amount of data. Like, I was, say, talking to one of the organizations which was into some kind of, this, investigations kind of thing. So for an investigation, lot of data is captured, so which you can't even hold in one system, right? So you'll be needing a, some e-documentation system which could hold a lot of data, and retrieval could be easy, and at the same time integrity could be ensured. So largely it's a question of two things, what is my exact requirement? See, all these tools are good. These are all well established across the world. All these tools are well established across the world. Now the point is what suits us, what would be good for my organization. And second thing is, let me tell you, the best thing would be you take a tool, look at it a bit, and if after some time you don't find it suits you, you can anytime change it. So most of these tools have got migration features where you could, download the data somewhere, and later on you could move to another tool. Right?
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think this will help our user, and they will know like what tool they have to actually use, and they can always explore more tools wherever they feel they are not able to use one particular tool. With this, there is another concern of one of the user who is asking like what to do with the security issues, because they feel whenever it comes to cloud-based, they fear about the security. So how to deal with that?
See, as I told you earlier, security is yes a concern. I don't deny it, but somehow we are wary of whenever we are on the cloud or on the net. Ask a simple question. Okay, whenever we go to a restaurant and the waiter asks us to pay the bill, we very gladly will give a credit card to him. He will take it there, he will swipe it or do whatever. We never know he's got a card reader there. We'll make a white card out of that. Okay, he could clone that card. We never bother about that. But let me ask you a simple question. Whenever on the net, we get a question, give your card number. I'm pretty sure we won't give it. We'll be happy to give it to the waiter who could clone it, but we won't give it to the cloud. So I would say the security is, as I said, more of in terms of the things we can see physically. We are a bit confident about it. And as far as, the cloud is concerned, we can't see it. So that's why we are not, I would say very confident about it. Now, as far as security is concerned, let me tell you, most of the clouds are pretty secure because they've got, I would say these are all, compliant with various requirements of security. Okay, and I'm pretty sure at ClearText also you would be knowing that you would be having some kind of security built into the whole of the cloud. Otherwise, who will exist today? These companies will be out of the market if they are not secure, right? But as far as security at your level is concerned, at your offices is secure is concerned, I'll sure recommend, you should have a good Wi-Fi security, you should have good access security in your systems, and at least you should have a good total antivirus or some kind of a total security solution. That you should definitely have. So security practice is more a question of following those practices.
Yeah, I totally agree, sir. It's more of like formulating that, but as also I would just add one point, because especially when you talked about ClearText also, because the thing is like we also always get some certificates. So there is some like SSO certificates and all. So they all get the certificates which actually shows a validity, like they are safe there. We have our obviously AWS and other things, which is really secure, and they keep their data also secure. And in fact, we can't even access to the user's data. It is this much secure that we ourselves cannot see that unless user give us the permission to do that. Okay, so with this, there is another question who is asking, can you please suggest some tools which can be used in preparation of project reports, especially where we can download some charts, pictures, etc., which can be used especially for the presentation purpose?
Okay. So friends, as far as I would say visualizations are concerned, there are too many visualization tools which are available. One of the most popular one is of course Tableau. And Power BI is again a great tool where you could have very good charts and visualizations and insights into the data. And Power BI for personal use is right now free, so you don't have to spend a penny on that. But for enterprise use, and if you want to take the results to some kind of Android device or publish it on your internet, yes, you need to pay for that. So it's a very good tool which is there for making charts and graphs and these kind of things. Otherwise, there is a Nime, which is an open source tool, which gives again very good visualizations. Okay, but all of these tools would have a bit of a learning curve. Yes, you need to learn these tools to be using them.
Thank you, sir. With this, there is another question. User wants to understand and get more knowledge about the VPN, which is virtual private network, and the dedicated servers attached to it.
See, VPN is like a tunnel within the internet. So it's more like a tunnel within the internet, okay, through which your data flows into the tunnel. So you get a kind of a virtual private network. So it's a kind of a private network, but it is on the cloud, or it's in the cloud, or it's on the internet. So it creates through encryption, it creates a kind of a tunnel with which your data is secure. So there are some, to some extent, yes, there are some free VPNs available, but beyond that, you'll have to buy the service of some kind of a VPN.
Thank you, sir. There is other question. So which platform should we use to transfer the documents?
But so transferring the documents like what?
So they want to save some documents and put all the documents maybe in a folder or something. So which tool is great where they can do this?
So like, for transferring, there is a free tool which is WeTransfer. We use it a lot. So WeTransfer is a good, and it's an ad-based free tool which is there. So WeTransfer does it very easily. So whenever there's a big document which need to be transferred, could be done through WeTransfer, or you could upload it to your OneDrive or Google Drive, and then you could, give the link to whoever wants to, and that link again could be access-based, right? That could be access-based, because in Google Drive, you can give access rights also, who can download and who cannot download, who can change it. So all those access rights are possible in Google Drive as well as some kind of a OneDrive.
So there is another question which you have already answered, but I will just repeat the same again. Maybe this person can understand more in detail. So his queries is, while we are trying to automate everything, the basic requirement at the backend is proper internet connection, broadband, especially high speed. However, this is a basic problem in India. How we can actually solve this problem?
I mean, I don't get the question exactly.
So the issue is like, though we want to automate everything, and we are trying to automate everything, but there is some basic requirement of the internet connection or the broadband. So with this, like,
Yes.
how can we solve this problem, especially when there is a poor connectivity, and how the tools can help us?
See, one thing is there. If we want to be on the cloud, connectivity has to be taken. So I gave you right at the start. I gave you, four pillars which were there, four enablers which were there, and one of them was a good connectivity. Without good connectivity, right, you can't connect. So that is a basic necessity. If you're talking of the cloud, cloud is nothing but servers which are there on internet, which are connected through some kind of an internet. There is no physical cloud or something. Clouds are what? Basically some kind of servers which are there, which you can, access through some kind of, you know, uh, I don't know what's happening. Okay. So cloud is, so if you need to access cloud, you need some kind of connectivity to be there. So what I'll say is internet is a prerequisite if we talk of some kind of a cloud-based system, or we want to digitize our offices, or we want to work from anywhere. Internet is a prerequisite.
So there is another question. The user is asking, please confirm which softwares or any tools you are using or going to use to digitize your office.
My office.
Yeah.
See, my office is, I'm into training. I'm already, digitized. I'm talking to you on virtual platforms. Okay. The slides are already there on some kind of a cloud from where we are operating. We have already, I would say, digitized. See, now, okay, that was on a very later note. See, I'm friends more into trainings and these kind of consultings. I'm not into what I'll say is a traditional practice. So that's why I don't need a big office. Okay, so I got just a something for my consulting things, and I'm mainly into trainings. So these areas I can sufficiently serve with the kind of cloud-based setup I have.
So just last question on the lighter note. So one of the question which is asked by the user, what tools you use for giving the training to the users and maybe clients and also your customers, your articles. So what tool you use for giving the training to them?
See, right now we are using Zoom, and we are planning a bit about Microsoft Teams, but right now we are using Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Zoom is a good tool. I found it good. It gives me screen sharing. All those options are there, so we can easily work with that. So Zoom meetings is there and Zoom webinars is there. So for this, that they are good tools where you can, I would say, share your screens. You can. It's easy. Less friction.
Okay. So I guess there are like now lot many questions which are again coming. So I may be like taking two more questions. So two last questions. So one of the question is why CA are reluctant to move from Tally to cloud-based smart solutions like ClearText, QuickBooks, or Xero?
One simple answer is we need to reset our mindset. So we are, as I said, so much used to physical systems because we are, so changing the mindset is very important. So if we really want to grow, we'll have to move to the cloud. That is for sure. Because, these kind of systems are not going to be for a very long time. And, one thing is sure, if you look at most of the reports, they say COVID is not going to go. It is going to remain. So we'll have to, modify our practices. We need to innovate. And rather than, Tally and see, I'm not in any way against Tally, but what I say is if we want to move to cloud, we have to look at a better solution. Okay. So a better solution would be, to move to the cloud where we can work anywhere. So I think so. That's about it. So the biggest change is required in the mindset.
Correctly said, sir. So it's always about our mindset, like what we want to do and where we want to see
Yeah.
ourselves. And especially in this scenario, we should always think of something which can automate our things, which can make our life easy. And we don't have to struggle for something which is not in our hand.